Hi, my name is Susan Jones and I am the owner of WBJ Investment Group. We are a financial institution that specializes in helping small businesses, families, and individuals better manage their money. I started this business for the reason of the lack of financial literacy in the community. There is such a huge lack of education that's put out in the community, that's offered to the community. And nowadays, with the financial situation in our kids, it's something that needs to be taught in the schools and also spoken about in the homes, and it's not. Until we get comfortable with talking about money, we're talking about investing, we're talking about breaking generational curses when it comes down to the lack of money in our communities, this cycle will never stop. It will never stop. So it is something that's near and dear to my heart, and I'm very passionate about in educating the community on what it takes to be financially healthy and from there financially independent. So WBJ, what we do is that we use a 4-step process to help our families and again individuals or small businesses get to the ultimate place of where they're comfortable with their finances. I don't know why, but money is such a huge taboo and it's not spoken about, it's not talked about, and it's a problem. It's a huge problem in this country because of the lack of education. So what we do is that we use a 4-step process to where we teach our clients how to better manage their money. I don't like using the word budget because when you say budget to someone, the first thing they think about is, you're going to tell me I can't do this, and I have to stop doing that. And it's a turnoff. I know for me, when I came down this journey for my own self, somebody telling me I needed a budget, that's just like you telling me telling me what I can do and what I can't do with my money. So I don't like the word budget. I use manage. The other way I explain it to my customers and my clients is that I'm going to show you how to float your money and at the same time still be able to pay your bills, live comfortably, take those trips. For us women, we like to shop while all still making the same money. You don't have to wait until you're talking about getting a better job, getting a raise on your job, none of that. We're going to show you how to manage what you have, where you're at, and be comfortable in doing it with no stress. I will be right back.
Come on, come on. Oh, GLS, yeah. The gloss. 24/7. GLS 365. Yeah. GLS, the gloss. Yeah. GLS.
Hi, so this is Susan again with WBJ Investment Group. So what I wanted to do is just to give you a little background on myself and my trials and tribulations with financial literacy and what I went through. So in my household, it was 6 of us, raised by single mom. And we saw my mom go to work every day, pay the bills, make sure that everything was taken care of. But there was one thing that she did not do, and that was teach us how to handle and manage our money. So one day me and her had, got in a conversation about it, and her thing was, well, what do you mean I didn't teach you? You saw me pay the bills every day. And I'm like, well, Ma, you paying the bills every day and, making sure that we're taken care of. That's not teaching us how to manage our money. That's not teaching us how to save. That's not teaching us what we were supposed to do with our money. That's not teaching us how to pay bills. And she really didn't grasp that just by, her doing what she was doing, she figured that it should be something that automatically clicks and people automatically do it. And I told her, no, you can't expect someone to be able to save their money, pay their bills on time, and knowing how to manage their money if they're not taught. So you can't expect somebody to do something if they're not taught how to do it. one of the major things that I always tell people is that my mom couldn't teach me something that she wasn't taught. So if she wasn't taught, how is she going to teach me? And and basically that is huge in our communities, because if our parents are not taught how to manage their money and how to save their money, how do you expect them to teach their kids to do the same thing? And especially if it's not taught in the schools. So for me, it was, I had to learn the hard way. I had to learn from messing up over and over again, just taking my money, doing what I want to do with it, not paying my bills, find myself back in my mom's house because, again, I wasn't managing my money the way I was supposed to, and just doing what I wanted to do with it. So, but what got me to change, what made me change, was when I had my first child, when I had my son. Still wasn't all that good at it, but I told myself, okay, Susan, you have to get better about doing this. You can't keep doing this same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. But when I had that second one, I really had to buckle down. That's when change came for me. When I had my daughter, and so now here I am, mom of two, can't keep just throwing away money, can't keep just being reckless, just can't keep doing the same old thing over and over again. So what I did was that I started buying books to teach myself how to better manage my money, how to understand the financial market, how to understand the financial system, what it takes. So that's what helped me have a better understanding of what it meant to better manage my money and to better handle my money, as I taught myself. And overall, what I did when it came down to my kids is I started teaching them at a very early age. Just teaching them simple adding and subtraction. I would let them take my checkbook, and I would have them to go through and just do a check and balances on my checkbook. I would let them use my ledger just to teach them simple attraction in addition, but in the same breath, I'm teaching them how to use a ledger at the same time. So for me, I started out with them real early, teaching them about financial literacy, teaching them the importance of saving, explaining to them why they needed to do this, and how later on in life it was going to affect them and help them later on in life as they got older to become adults, to where they can better handle their own households and not running back to mine because they didn't do what they needed to do in the beginning. So for me, that's just a little bit about me. So I had to go through the ups and downs, get that road rash, be uncomfortable with not handling my money the way I was supposed to. But like I say, once I had that second one, my whole mentality and my attitude had to change. I had to teach myself how to better manage and handle my money, being a mother of two. And I will be right back.
Hey parents, have you heard the Three Little Pigs Learn About Money jingle? Wait no longer. You're gonna love it. Hey.
Three little pigs learn about money. Little pigs learn about money. Yeah, we're gonna teach you what to do with your money. A little bit of wisdom, a little faith. Three little pigs learn about money.
Purchase the Three Little Pigs Learn About Money kids book today.
Hi, I'm back again. This is Susan with WBJ Investment Group. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to give you all 7 talking points to where you can sit down as a family and talk about these topics. If we're talking a family, husband and wife, or we're just talking maybe a single family, take and involve your kids in these 7 talking points. What I used to do with my kids is that I would hold what I call a round table. And we would talk about different things, but these 7 points that I'm gonna give you were definitely some of the things that we spoke about back then. So I would talk about leadership. And when we start talking about leadership, I would ask my kids, what do that mean? What does leadership mean to you? How do you see yourself as a leader? Your friends. Do you see your friends as leaders? Or is this something that, that's talked about in the schools? Are your teachers asking you these type of questions? Do they holding seminars or offer you guys things to start talking about leadership? Are they preparing you for leadership? So with leadership, what we should want to do as a family, as leadership, what does that mean? What do you want to be known for? As a leader, what do you want to be known for? And as within your family, within your whole family dynamics, what do you want your family to be known for when it comes down to leadership? Second thing that we would talk about is legacy. With legacy, what are you going to leave behind of value as a family, as an individual? What do you want your legacy to be? Are we having these type of conversations with our children? Are we having these type of conversations as a family? Do we know what we want our family legacy to be? The third talking point that I would have is life insurance. And this is a big taboo for a lot of families. People don't want to start talking about life insurance because, again, generally in the community, we have the wrong perspective of what life insurance is. But who has it? Who doesn't? Are we having these type of conversations within our families? Are we making sure that our families are covered properly with the proper amount of life insurance? Are we talking about this with our kids? Are we having these conversations? The next thing I would ask my kids would be wealth creation. And they were like, Mom, what do you mean wealth creation? What is that? What do you mean wealth creation? Well, with wealth creation, what business can we build together as a family? What can we do as a family to build wealth? Not just for now, but wealth for generations to come. Are we having these type of conversations? Have we thought about having these type of conversations? The next one is real estate acquisition. What can we buy together? Are we talking about buying real estate as a family? Are we talking about owning properties as a family? Are we talking about just getting other family members together and at some point we go out and look at purchasing property, large parcels of land? Are we doing this? Are we mindset? What is our mindset? What is our mindset when it comes down to financial literacy? What is our mindset when it comes down to financial literacy within the families? Who in the family has the best mind for business? Have you ever sat down and talked to your kids and asked them what do they really want to do? Have you ever asked them, have they ever thought about owning their own business? Have you ever, and if so, have you sat down and just really looked at each and every one, looked at your kids and say, I wonder, would he or she be a good business owner? What are their mindsets? Are we having these conversations with our kids? I think this is so vital and so important. The last one is our children. How can we teach them about job creation? Are we teaching our children about job creation? Are we teaching our children to be entrepreneurs? Or are we just teaching our children the same old thing, which is go to school, go to college, after that get a good job, after that get married, do the normal, so-called, as I call it, American, thing to me, which, I know I know they say that is the American way, this is what we're supposed to do, But we're in a whole totally different age now to where there's nothing wrong with their child going to college. Nothing whatsoever. But if they're going to go to school, let them go to school for something that's just not going to be a job. Let it be for something that they're going to enjoy. Secondly, if they get in these big corporations, don't sit here, get in that big corporation, learn everything that you can learn, and within 5 years, you're out. That way, you're learning what you can learn, and then take what you've learned and build your own. Build your own company. Are we having these type of conversations with our kids, or are we just still leading them down the same old roads that we were taught? We need to have different conversations within our families. These 7 talking points, I think, are excellent. These 7 talking points, for me with my children, it actually helped them to choose their friends. It helped them make better choices in their friends. Because when I started talking to them about these things and explaining to them the importance of these 7 things and us doing this as a family, they really understood that later on in life, this was really going to help them. So let's start having these conversations, okay? And I'll be right back.
Hey parents, have you heard the 3 Little Pigs Learn About Money jingle? Wait no longer. You're gonna love it. Hey.
3 little pigs learn about money. 3 little pigs learn about money. Yeah, we're gonna teach you what to do with your money. A little bit of wisdom, a little faith. 3 little pigs learn about money.
Purchase the 3 Little Pigs Learn About Money kids book today.
Hi, this is Susan again with WBJ Investment Group. So I went over the 7 talking points, which, like I said, is something that we need to talk about and have these conversations within our families. These 7 talking points really help my kids to mature as adults. By no means think that my kids are perfect and they got it all together, because trust me, it took them a while to come back to that foundation that I laid for them at an early age. They got out there and did what they wanted to do. They got out there and they messed up, and they would run to mama, and mama would bail them out, but then mama had to, put the brakes on and stop and say, no, we're not going to continue doing this, because we as parents, we can handicap our kids. We could become crutches for our kids because we don't want to see them struggle. We don't want to see them down and out. We want to make sure that they're okay, but at the same time, we can handicap them by constantly bailing them out of, things that they get into, instead of allowing them to stand on their own 2 feet. So for my kids, they did mess up, although they had that foundation, and they had the foundation and they did what they wanted to do, but they came back to that foundation, and I can say now that they are doing very well when it comes down to managing their money and being better keepers of their finances. So sometimes we just have to let our children experience things. We can't always bail them out, because again, that's us being a crutch for them. That's us handicapping them. We need to allow them to experience those things that are uncomfortable, especially when it comes down to money and their finances. So, like I say, the 7 talking points are great. It is a great tool to use. I'm actually now using these same talking points with my grandchildren, the ones that are able and old enough to understand. We really have to educate. We have to educate these next generations when it comes down to financial literacy. We can't keep allowing our kids to be in the dark. We can't keep allowing our kids to be out here and not knowing. And better yet, we just can't keep handing things to our children without them understanding what it takes for you to give them, what they're asking for. You have to explain all of this stuff to our kids. We just can't keep fostering what I call bad behavior. One thing I tell my grandson that grandma don't reward bad behavior simply because you want something and you feel like you deserve it. No, grandma don't do that. You have to learn to earn things. You have to have a better understanding of things. And so now I'm teaching, he's 10 and I'm teaching him the importance of money. I'm teaching him the importance of earning earning his allowance instead of him just being given an allowance. So he have a better understanding of money, so he'll have a better respect for what he has. There is one thing, if we don't teach our kids how to respect our money, trust me, they'll go through it for us. And then we'll be sitting around looking and saying, well, wow, what happened? How did I get here? Why are they like that? And they're like that because we didn't teach them how to respect that dollar. We didn't teach them how to better manage that dollar that we gave them. We just kept giving and giving and giving and giving until they got to a point to where for them it's expected. For them, it's like, how dare you tell me no? I'm entitled to this. So we have to break that entitlement mentality when it comes down to our children, and we have to, as parents, get better about not just giving and giving to our kids. Let's teach them to earn what we give them. Let's teach them to respect what we give them. Let's teach them, the right way of handling their money. And in the same breath, parents, it helps us as well. Because I know for me, when I started cutting my kids off and just stopped giving them that weekly allowance and start making them earn that money, it was a wake-up call for me as well. Because it made me realize that I was creating, as I would say, little monsters. Because they hadn't started developing that entitlement mentality, which is not where I wanted to go, or and was definitely not what I meant to instill in them. So let's do better. Let's have these tough, hard financial conversations. Let's do this, and let's better equip our kids, and let's better equip our families on financial literacy. Okay? I'll be right back.
Hey everybody, it's me, Jake. I hope you're all doing great. Question: have you gotten your copy of the new Kids Money book yet? If not, wait no longer. Visit www.pigslearnaboutmoney.com today. Oh yeah, before I forget, be sure to subscribe to our channel the first chance you get. See ya!
Little pigs, learn about money.
Hi, this is Susan again with WBJ Investment Group. So before I close, I wanted to give you a few pointers or talking points as to on what the different middle classes, how they think and where they go and what they're not doing. So, society has broken us down into groups, classifications, let me put it like that. They've broken it down as to where you have the poor, then you have the middle class, and then you have the wealthy. That's how they have broken it down. But if you ask me to where things are going now, there are only two classes. You're either in the poor or you're wealthy, because middle class has slowly gone away. Middle class is, I would give it probably within the next 5 to 10 years, you won't have a middle class section anymore because it's been done away with. So one of the things that they say about poor people is that poor people worry about survival. And that's true. They worry about survival because they haven't been taught how to better manage their money. So for them, everything is a crisis. Everything for them is survival. How am I going to get this bill paid? How am I going to be able to put food on the table? How am I going to be able to clothe my kids? How am I getting to work? Where is the money coming from for me to pay my light bill? So for them, everything is about survival. And it's because, again, they're not educated. And it's because, you know, they're being left out. They're being edged out. They're being left out. So for them, yes, for the poor, it's survival. Now, when we start talking about the middle class is more concerned with the comfort of being in the middle class. They're worried about what they have accomplished, where they're at, what they have gained. So with the middle class, it's all about comfort for them. They're not thinking about doing anything extra. They're not thinking about becoming wealthy. They're not thinking about, I would say, just doing anything out of the norm of what they have already been taught to do, which is to go to work and save their money. That's what they've been taught to do. So they're not thinking about doing anything other than that. Middle class people can be very complacent. But again, and it's because of how they were brought up, what they were taught, and they're comfortable where they're at in life right now. So with the middle class, that's what they worry about. They worry about the comforts of this world and what they have. Now, wealthy, that is a totally different class. That is a whole totally different beast. Wealthy people have a totally different mindset from the poor and from the middle class. Wealthy people, you know what they focus on? Wealthy people focus on freedom. Wealthy people focus on, what can I do next that's going to make me X amount of dollars? Wealthy people get up and think about, okay, so what am I going to do today different than what I did yesterday? How am I going to make myself more money to where I don't have to get up and just go to a 9 to 5. I don't have to get up to do anything that normal people get up and do every day. Wealthy people's mindset is freedom. How am I going to free up my time so that I can spend time with my family? So with the wealthy, it's all about freedom. With the wealthy, it's all about, where am I going next? What is going to be my next big adventure? What am I creating next? Wealthy people also teach their children this same thing. Wealthy people teach their children freedom. Wealthy people don't teach their children to go to college and to come out and get a job. Wealthy people teach their children, you go to college, learn what you need to learn, but you're going to come out and you're going to be a boss. You're not going to be a worker. You're not going to be an employee. This is what wealthy people teach their children. So we have to change our mindset. Our mindsets need to be changed when it comes down to financial literacy. Because once we change our mindset on financial literacy, it will open up so many different avenues for us as a community, as a people, to where we won't have to worry about survival anymore. Survival will be, we don't have to worry about just surviving. We'll be in a position to where not only are we surviving, but we're going to be in a position to where we can also enjoy life, have fun, enjoy our families, and still be able to live comfortably as well. So again, let's change our mindset. Let's be better people, okay? Until the next time, this is Susan Jones with WBG Investment Group. We'll see you later.
might have a TV show idea but don't know how to get started? Reach out to me at glstvnetwork.com at gmail.com. Again, that's glstvnetwork.com at gmail.com, and we'll help you find your voice.